You gorgeous individuals, it's Kav here, and today I'm going to be doing the Book Lover Survival Tag. I was tagged to do this by Christina from Proud Book Line, and I will link her channel in the description below, and I highly recommend that you all follow her because she is a lovely human and she genuinely does deserve all of our support. Essentially, for this tag you choose 5 to 8 books, and I chose 8 of course, that you would take with you if you were to be stranded on a deserted island. These can be any 8 books, there's no requirements, you can choose all of your favorite books, you can choose all new books, but these are essentially the only 5 to 8 books that you will have with you on that island. I promise that they're not all Cassandra Clare books, because I know that's what most of you are thinking, and let's just get started. The first book I have is Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. I promise you, they are not all Cassandra Clare books, but this first one is one because of course I had to choose at least a few of her books to take with me. Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy is a collection of 10 short stories about Simon Lewis, who is one of the main characters of the Mortal Instruments series, and I can't exactly tell you about this because it takes place after the last book of the Mortal Instruments, and I don't want to spoil anyone. I do have a full review of it up from a really long time ago. I don't know the quality of that review, but I will link it either up there or down there for you all to check that out if you would so desire. I chose this book because generally Cassie's books are extremely heart-wrenching. In all of her books there's some sort of emotional impact it will have on you. That's just how her books are. They are a culmination of everything you could ever want in a book, and that's partially what I love about them, but it also does mean that they all definitely do bring out the emotions in you. This book is no different. There are certain short stories that are sad, but overall there are also some short stories that are happy, and I feel like I wouldn't want to take one of her most emotional books, which is why I haven't actually chosen Clockwork Princess for this, because though it is my favorite book of all time, it is very heart-wrenching and sad, and I don't think that if I was stranded on a deserted island that's exactly what I would want with me. I think I'd want something a little bit more upbeat, and this book is just great, and we get to see Simon in a really new way, and I really love that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book and I would definitely take it with me. The next book on my list is 27 Hours by Tristina Wright. This is a recent YA sci-fi release and I really enjoyed it. I have a full spoiler-free review of it up, so I will link that either up there or down there if you would be interested in checking that out. I really enjoyed it, and I am lucky enough that Tristina is actually a friend of mine, and I am very glad that I have the opportunity to support her because I think that she is a very talented author. The thing that really gets you about this book is the cast of characters, and they are a very diverse cast of characters, which is always a plus, and I feel like if I was on a deserted island, what I would want would be a strong cast of characters that would kind of make me feel like I'm not alone anymore, and this book definitely has that quality because you will definitely be drawn to and get attached to the characters, and that's exactly what you need if you're going to be stuck alone. You need a book that will give you some company, and this book definitely does that. And as I said, the cast of characters is also very diverse, so that's an extra bonus, and the plot is interesting and the writing is well done, so all of those also contribute to why I would take it with me. The next book I have is City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. This one is my favorite book of the Mortal Instruments series. I highly enjoyed it. I think this is the book from the Mortal Instruments that I've read the most times, and you might be wondering, how have you read one book of a series more times than the rest? It's possible. I love this book. I like it for a number of reasons. I think that Cassie is extremely good at writing third books. Those are always her best book. City of Glass, City of Heavenly Fire, and Clockwork Princess are my favorite of her books in terms of the Shadowhunters universe, and that's because they are all the third book, and I think she has a real talent with that, and I don't exactly know how she does it, but it's something I've noticed by continuously reading her work. City of Glass was the first time I read one of her books that I fell in love with, because in all honesty, City of Bones and City of Ashes are not the best books out there. Yes, they're part of my favorite series, but like they're, you know, her first pieces of work. They're definitely nowhere near as good as Lord of Shadows is now, and City of Glass was the first time I read one of her books and was like, oh my god, I need more. Because of that, I chose this one, but I also chose this one because 2 of my all-time favorite relationships in Cassie's work, and if you know me then you will know what those relationships are, but I'm not stating them because I don't want to spoil anyone, definitely get extra attention in this novel, and that of course makes me really happy. And Isabel's character character gets a very powerful story arc in this novel, and as she is my second favorite Cassandra Clare character of all time and my favorite female Cassandra Clare character of all time, it definitely means a lot to me that she gets a powerful story arc in this. So there's a number of reasons I would choose it. It is more heart-wrenching than Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, but it's not as heart-wrenching as City of Heavenly Fire or Clockwork Princess, so I decided to choose this one. The next book I have with me is I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zuzak, and this is the author of The Book Thief. I Am the Messenger is one of my favorite books of all time, and I don't talk about it much on my channel because I read it quite a while ago, but I do have a full review of it up, and again, it's from a long time ago, so I'm not sure the state of it, but I will link that either up there or down there if you are interested in that. The one issue I think I would have with taking this novel with me is that I read it really fast. It is based on suspense and mystery, so I get through it really fast because I want to know what happens, and I have read it multiple times, and the multiple times I've read it really fast because it's so interesting, but I also never get tired of reading it because of how interesting it is. This is kind of unlike most of the books I talk about on my channel because it is so heavily based in suspense and mystery, and I genuinely think that it's best to go into this book with no information, unless like me you'd be rereading it. Going into it with no information is how I originally went into it, and I finished it that day itself, so I know that I would love taking this book with me because it is such a favorite of mine, honestly. The next two books I'm taking with me kind of for the same reason, so I'm gonna share them together, and that is Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn and When Diplomat Rishi by Sandhya Menon. I have chosen these two books because both of these books have repped me for the first time in a different way. When Diplomat Rishi is the first time I have ever seen representation as an Indian American teen, and Let's Talk About Love is the first time I've seen representation as a biromantic asexual teen. Both of these books are two of my favorites of all time, so it kind of fits that I would take them with me, and Sandhya also happens to be one of my favorite people of all time. I'm also fortunate enough to be friends with her, and every interaction I have with her is like a blessing because she is just so sweet and so lovely. So I would be honored to take one of her books with me as I was on the deserted island. I just love both of these books, so it makes sense that I take them with me. The last two books I have are the only two books that would be new reads for me, and please don't kill me for saying I haven't read this yet, but it is the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo, and I haven't read it yet. Please don't kill me, I really want to. These books are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at them. So that's actually why I picked them up. I chose the book by its cover. Since then, I have heard so many wonderful things about this novel and about Leigh herself, and I have actually met her once, and she is a beautiful person inside and out. So I would love to take this duology with me. It's kind of big, so it might take me a little bit of time to get through it, and it's one that I have wanted to read for so long. So I think I would really enjoy reading this duology. Yeah, that's why I chose it. So those are the 8 books I would take with me if I was stranded on a deserted island. I would like to know what books you would choose if you were to be stranded on a deserted island, so definitely leave those in the comments below. That is all I have for this video, but before I go, I am going to tag some people. I'm not exactly sure as to who has done this tag already, so I'm just gonna tag people that I think of right now. The people I'm going to tag are Trina from Between Chapters, Gabby from Gabriella Pop, Dylan from Dylan the Reader, and Maddie from Maddie Lee Reads. So like I said, if you've already done this tag, then ignore this, but if you haven't, then go ahead and do it yourself. And if you are sitting there watching this video and you're like, well, I want to do this tag, then I tag you as well, so go ahead and do it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe because that stuff makes me happy. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you are having a lovely day or night wherever you are. Please remember that you are beautiful and you deserve the world, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Goodbye!